Hi, my name's Mike Beltran. I'm the chef and owner of Ariete Hospitality Group. We're going to be doing a blind frozen croqueta tasting. For those of you in Salina, Kansas that don't know what a croqueta is a fried meat stick. That sounds dreadful, but they're delicious. So, again, if you're not from here being Miami, croquetas are a part of life. We have croquetas several times throughout the day. If you have coffee, you usually have a croqueta. If you have a croqueta, you usually have coffee. And in there in the mix, there is pastelitos also. 9.5 times out of 10, when you visit a ventanita to have a croqueta, they are always frozen and they come in a box. So we are here to talk about the frozen croquetas that come in a box. We have 4 ham croquetas, and then we have a bonus bacalao croqueta. Croquetas are all about a few certain things. The breading, the coarse nature of the breading, or the fine nature of the breading. As you can see here, just an example, this is like a medium coarse to fine. Here, this one. And then this thing is more of a coarse breading. And the reason why that matters is because how you fry the croqueta and how long it sits in the fryer, how long it does that whole thing, it really depends on the actual breading, right? If you add anything to the breading, some people add seasonings and spices. Some people don't, right? So that's number one. The ingredients that are inside of the croqueta are the number one most important thing. And the masa, right? Those two things, the actual meat, the quality of that meat, and the masa itself. Some people have masa recipes that have been handed down by their grandparents and their great-grandparents, and that's amazing. It's about the texture. When you bite into a croqueta, the creaminess, or is it a little more firm? All those things really matter. So everyone's recipe is different. Basically, you're taking a very thick bechamel, you're adding ground meat of some kind, you're adding it to it, you're chilling it, you're scooping it, you're forming it, you're breading it, sometimes double breaded, sometimes single breaded, which matters a lot. And then usually you're freezing it. These things cook better from frozen because, if you buy this to take home, you're not going to eat 24 croquetas unless you're un salvaje. So, which may be the case. To give a little context, we fried these in Nick's living room in a tiny $20 fryer that we bought at Target. The fryer is set to 315 degrees, and they were all fried for 4 minutes. So we did that to keep it the same. So if there's any difference in color, whatever, it would all be the same thing. So Nick has forced me to tell everyone that I already ate one of each one of these. So I don't have to act surprised. But I did try them already and I took notes because croquetas are a big thing for me. So I really wanted to know all the things to tell the 22 people that are going to watch this. Croqueta number one. Croqueta number one, like I said before, fried at the same temperature and time as the rest of them. But croqueta number one is much, the breading is a little more fine. And I don't know what they added to the breading that made it, it's actually the darkest one of all of them. So that means that the fry itself should have either been lower or maybe don't fry it from frozen. So upon opening, the crispiness is okay. I say just from the looks test, the look of the inside is pretty good. In my notes, I put that the inside is tasty. It's important to note that we fried these things and we're eating them at room temperature. The reason why I say that is because more often than not, when you go up to a Cuban window, you get a coffee, you get a croqueta, pretty much room temperature. They're never going to be super ripping hot. So this is as realistic as we get to going somewhere and eating them. This croqueta is not an abomination at all whatsoever. It's actually halfway decent, and I'm pretty surprised that I like it. They did nice work here. Number two, the first thing that stood out to me was the size and the shape and the actual breading. Very good. this is like, if you were to look at a poster child for a croqueta, this would be it. Size, perfectly shaped, perfect fry color. The actual breading itself, it's pretty perfect. The one way you could tell when you go to a place and if they make their own croquetas is if they have 24 croquetas and all of them are absolutely the fucking same, they're coming out of a box. It's impossible. So, crispiness here is like not very good. If I were to not have these frozen and I were to fry them at a higher temp, they would probably be a little crispier, and they would benefit from that. But again, they come out of a freezer box, so that wouldn't happen. The texture on the inside, pretty good. Yeah, I remember this one. So the inside kind of reminds me of when you open up a can of dog food and you put it in the thing. Very similar, so not very enjoyable. Like when you smell something very strong, it hits like the back of your nose and you could taste it and you're just like, fuck, that's gross. That's what this tastes like. This is not very good. I actually put, the taste is weird and sucks. You can't judge it by its cover, right? Because this is like a very well done on the outside, but then they just like fucked up the actual flavor, which would suck. So that's number 2. Number 3, the turd nugget is what I called it. Because I mean, this is like, I don't know what, this is like a party size of a croqueta. Very small. I don't know why they made them so small. There had to be a reason. Maybe maybe the box said party size. I guess you would have to ask the producer. Issues I have with croquetas that are this small, it's usually a lot of breading to the actual meat. And then this one is kind of hollow on the inside, so that's not very good either. All in all though, the breading is solid. The color on the fry was good. So it's pretty consistent with like regular croquetas. Texture of the inside is very good. Flavor is not amazing, but it's definitely better than this thing. It doesn't offend me, but I'm not going to go out of my way to eat this. So then the 4th one. This one, the first thing you can notice is that the breading is much more coarse. It did get a little darker in the fry. I actually let it ride for 30 seconds longer than the other ones just because it's a much bigger croqueta than the other 4. So I just want to make sure that it was cooked all the way through. I did refuse to look at all the instructions. Absolutely. I feel almost offended that to deep fry a croqueta, you wanted me to look at instructions. So, upon opening this croqueta, I feel the crispiness is good. It is a little bit of a mess, right? Because of the coarse breading. But if you look at the inside of the croqueta, it is very different than these two, more similar to the first. It's a little bit thicker, the inside. And that leads me to believe that the masa is more flour heavy. And now, the reason why I wanted to point that out is because my personal flavors, I like croquetas that are more like this. It doesn't mean that it is the right thing to have, but I like the texture to be a little more firm. And it's important to note, when you have these croquetas that come out of boxes, 9 times out of 10, you're having the majority of the bechamel because they're going to hold back on the actual meat that's in here. People want you to eat more of the masa because it costs less than the actual meat part of it. So when you look in here, you'll see little speckles of meat and they're very sparse, right? That doesn't mean that it's bad. This is just the way that these croqueta companies make money. So you see little sparse little pieces. And not to say that we're amazing, but the croquetas that we produce for our restaurant, we want it to have a lot of meat. It's a lot. We use high quality ham and the whole thing. Because I feel like this is sad. There should be more meat. But anyways. For my taste, I enjoy this. I can see why someone wouldn't love this. It's a little more drier in the mouth, but the masa is pretty flavorful. And it just kind of reminds me of like a lot of croquetas that you have like regularly, you know? So, not bad. Now this leads me to this thing. Our last croqueta. Break it down like the other ones. More coarse, good color, good size. I ate one of these before. It's atrocious. I'm going to try it again, just so I could say that I ate this for the thing that we're doing. But this fucking thing tastes dreadful. So, bacalao. Oh. So, Just like the other ones, masa and then meat, and you can see the bacalao meat there. Like I said, I'm going to try it again. I'll try it again. That is so bad. Fuck. Jeez. This came in a box with more than one? Fuck me, man. That's so bad. Holy shit. Wow. It reminds me of someone to get a whole fish carcass and just like puree the whole thing with like bones and like it was roasted in an oven and it smells bad and it just like all that in a single bite. Oh, fucking terrible. Now, bacalao croquetas are not my number one. I'll eat them. But never have I had a reaction like that to a bacalao croqueta in my life. This is atrociously bad. This should go away. So I left a piece of all of them because I'm going to retry them before I rate them.
Okay, fair.
This is tough. So for sure, this atrocious thing is number 4. This thing is not good. No. Not good at all. It's like, it looks nice and pretty, but it like the taste is just like, I don't want anyone to have that. This thing, not good either, but less bad. Right? Less horrible, that's fine. So this is like 3rd. Right? These two, they're pretty close. Right? I would, if it were me eating, I would say I want to eat this one. I think this is a better croqueta. This is a better croqueta than this one. But for my personal flavor, I like this one. Oh, no. Oh, what a shame. That's a shame. Mambo, huh? This is bad. These people should go out of business. Right? Yeah, the Goya croqueta is the best croqueta here. When I look at this brand, I could see why they would make a bad croqueta. Catalina, this is like one of the most well-known ones. This thing right here. But I don't remember them being so small. Maybe this is like a special thing that they do for so small ones. And then this thing I have never seen. Mambo Jumbo croquetas. Jumbo. Yeah, I mean, everyone knows this is my favorite one of all of them. But I think that this is the best croqueta here. Which, you know, there it is. These are the croquetas that you see in restaurants. So often you're not going to like find the place that actually makes their croquetas. It's a lot of work. I mean, I know some restaurants that do make their own croquetas and they have 2 or 3 people on staff that just do that. That's all they do. I mean, we produce like 1,500 croquetas a week and it's hard. I have 3 people on staff that do it. Ivanka's the winner. Number 2. And what did I say? Number 3. And number 4. I'm going to go take a bath now that I've just eaten so much grease.